Hello, I'm Martin Mercer.
And I'm James Mastriani.
You've never heard of us.
We're two Brits who grew up in North London and have had varying success in the film and television industry.
In our ever-advancing age, we find ourselves on
the wrong side of Hollywood.
In our series of podcasts, we'll share our experiences of what it's like being a British bloke living and working,
or not,
in the biz.
We'll discuss everything from fish and chips to things that wind us up.
So stay with us. It's all uphill from here.
This podcast may contain strong language. If you're of a sensitive nature or easily offended, we invite you to, as they say in Blighty, jog on.
Coffee?
Yes, please.
Excellent.
You recording?
I am.
Excellent. Good lad.
Happy New Year. Gone hey fat
Gone
choy.
hey fat. Oh. Gone hey fat choy.
How long have you been doing this?
Years. Yes, year of the rabbit.
Yes.
Let's see, it's a bit of a strange year so far. But with the coffee I brought, because it's gone no fat choy, because it's the New Year, Chinese New Year, and thank you, I have brought in my deafness, I'm a bit mutton today,
Hey.
Pardon, is these, now I thought these were called white ghosts.
Guaylo.
Little white ghosts, yeah. Because and I even did a post on Facebook about. I know it looks like a long fried knob, doesn't it? Basically, but basically, if you can imagine. By the way, I just put alcohol in my hand, so.
Most people drink it.
Do you have a toaster oven? Do you have something? A toaster oven, ladies and gentlemen, is a device that we don't have in Britain. It's basically a very small portable box. It's basically like a toaster, but on its side. And it's, if you get a cheap one, which we have, it's incredibly hot.
Yeah, no, it's great. It warms everything up from pizza to toast.
I know, but it's just a massive fire hazard. You've got this box that's just like having your own little nuclear facility.
It's like having an oven. But that's why it's called a toaster oven.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, the fact, I made a mistake once of touching it.
Oh,
on the
outside.
And I was just like, how can this be? How can you release this device into the population?
Well, I guess most people read the instructions that say, don't touch the outside while it's on.
No, I know. I mean, it's sort of, I thought somehow anyway. But it's a great device. Do you have one?
I don't have one.
Fucking useless, aren't you? Oh my God!
You see,
how am I going to heat these?
Well,
I have to go back into my house now.
I could nuke it.
No,
for like 10 seconds.
All right. Well, you have to try this. It's called. Right. It's not called a white ghost, by the way. It's called a fried ghost. A fried ghost. And basically, it's like a donut. It's a long phallus-shaped donut, basically, but it's not sweet. It's what's the opposite of sweet?
Just sour is the opposite of sweet, but it's not that. It's just savoury.
Savoury, sour.
Yeah. You said what's the opposite of sweet?
I suppose so. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put this in for 20 seconds.
Yeah. It's not the same.
I know.
Fuck! I knew I should have heated it at my house. Absolutely.
I told you.
Much use as an ashtray on a motorcycle.
Actually, I'm gonna do 15 seconds.
But anyway, so I want you to try that. Let's cut it in half.
I've already.
Now, if you're Chinese,
you have the big one.
If you're Chinese, like my wife is, you just get a pair of scissors. Oh no, dude!
No.
That's terrible. It's got the consistency of a soaked bog roll.
I'm sure it tastes good. Oh. Tell you what. Here,
I gotta take it into the house.
I'm gonna stick it on the toaster. I'll stick it on the toaster, but we have to watch it.
Oh God, so tragic. I just thought I'd bring these in. It would be a simple case of heating them up, and it's turned into a right palaver. I thought you'd like to try some of my buns as well, James. This is from the Momo Bakery. In Alhambra, which is in Los Angeles, an area called Alhambra, and that is a very Asian.
Do you realise you're killing the recording with that? You're rustling it right in front of the mic.
Right, so it's like I'm burning.
Yeah, not only that.
Okay, that's not good. No, you've put them in there. Oh, okay. All right, there's hope for you yet.
Well, I don't want to burn them.
Yeah, nuking them was such a bad idea.
It was all right. It just becomes soggy, is all.
Not really. But anyway, the great thing about them is they're like a donut. They're crispy. Not like the soft sog roll.
This is still a bit. This isn't. I mean, it's warm, but it's still a bit on the sogged side.
Oh, mate. I'm gonna.
All right.
I'm gonna have to put these in a toast oven. Will you bear with me?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I will pause the recording while you've gone.
Okay. Unreal.
Well, you didn't come prepared, did you?
No, you didn't. From soggy sausage to firm, crispy delight.
All right.
You get that one?
Yep. I'll get. Ooh, there you go. See, it's crispy now.
No,
I told you.
The only trouble is, James, is that the coffee it seems very milky.
I might have put too much, but I can top it up. There's more. Pour some in.
Yeah, thanks.
Pour some
now,
in.
dunk. Is it this one?
No, that's the kettle.
This one?
That one.
Oh, the one with Mr. Coffee on it.
Yeah. Clever girl.
Oh, sorry.
All right, I'm going to dunk.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice and crispy.
Okay,
Soon
let
to
me
be
know what
soggy.
you think. Go on, see your hand.
Hot too. I'm burning my fingers. I kind of want it to have a sugary taste to it.
Right.
It's like eating a donut without any
Yeah.
without any sugar.
Yeah, but isn't that nice?
No. But it smells good. I'm going to do it without dunking it.
Okay, try it without dunking, but... Yes, you see, you're speaking from a Guaylo's perspective.
Right.
And because I'm half Asian, basically by marriage, but it's an acquired taste. But no, if you imagine this, what they do in places of the Far East, for breakfast they'll make a porridge, which is not like our porridge.
Right.
Western porridge. It's actually made of it's a chicken broth. It's got rice in it, and it's actually it's like Jewish penicillin. It's actually very good for you.
Okay.
Chicken soup, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically like that, and they'll have this, and they'll cut it up, and it will be in the soup, or they'll dunk it in for breakfast. It's very nice, and this is kind of like it's more of a healthy. I mean, it's fried,
right?
So it's not that healthy, but it's more of a healthy
version
of a donut. But you're not clean.
No.
You are.
Well, no,
You
very
like
nice.
it? Okay. You said you
It's
didn't.
kind of like a churro without the sugar.
Yeah, that's true.
And without the star shape, it's more dong shape.
Dong.
As opposed to the
Sorry,
star.
So we were talking about the flavour, and then dong came into it. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Anyway, so there we go. And I do have these other buns, but maybe we can try those later.
Sure.
But there's sort of when you go to the bakeries. Britain was in China for many years.
Right. So a lot of those influences.
We helped them get onto opium so we could steal their tea, and our influence spread far and wide, and you can see it in the architecture and so on and so forth. But when you see the bakeries here, if you go to Monterey or the Alhambra,
right.
You'll see the bakeries, and when you look at the goods, it will remind you of what you see in Britain. Because it's kind of like a reflection of the British culture.
Okay.
But then it has the Asian influence. It will have taro root in there, and it's kind of that's more like a Swede tasting, not a Swedish person. I don't know what they taste like.
And Martin's fourth year of the rabbit has gone down a rabbit hole. So, anyhow, so how are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad.
Yeah.
I wanted to discuss. There's the beginning of the year. Work is a bit slow.
But you're working. You just got some work.
Well, yeah, I've got a little job, a horror film.
On? Spill?
Hold on.
Notice I gave you the Pink Floyd mug today.
Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry. I was too involved in my own ideas and thoughts, as usual. Immortal Remain.
It's the 50th anniversary this March.
Oh, yeah, they're playing. You said they're playing at the Bowl?
I was hoping... I was hoping they were going to be playing...
Hollywood Bowl.
No. When they released it in London in 1973, EMI did a deal with the planetarium, and they did a light show.
Yeah.
Planetarium did a show to the full 42 minutes.
You're talking planetarium in Los Angeles here.
No, I'm talking about in
London.
London.
Planetarium.
And in that article that I posted on Facebook, they were saying that they might want to do the same thing again for the 50th anniversary.
Right.
So I immediately went onto the Griffith Park Observatory website, and there's nothing in there about it. I remember when I first got here to Los Angeles, they had it.
Right.
That was part of the planetarium experience, and I didn't see it for some strange reason. Nobody else saw it except me.
Right.
And
Well,
I
it's
was
just sad,
hoping,
aren't
yeah, thanks.
I didn't see it either. I'm sad.
No, but I'm curious because they've remastered it, and they're doing a full Dolby Atmos version of all the tracks. So I can imagine what that would sound like in the auditorium, listening to with all the stars and everything. So I was thinking,
Bit of the old wacky backy.
I hope they do it because I'd love to see that. And according to my post, a lot of other people would like to see it as well.
Right.
So, but of course, there's nothing on their calendar for March.
But LA's like that, isn't it? Don't you think? I hate to say it, but if you think about New Year, even Chinese New Year, it's there's no real big celebration here. You look at New Year's, they just project it onto the city hall.
Right.
It's so weird, and yet you go throughout LA. There's fireworks everywhere, illegal fireworks because they're illegal, but you'd never know.
No. But why are they illegal?
Well, obvious, because first of all, it's a very high drought area.
Yeah, exactly.
So one errant firework landing in the bushes or on top of that roof, that you're fucked, basically.
Pretty much.
But it doesn't stop these people buying and importing these horrendously powerful explosives, basically. Yeah. My wife, her family lives in East Los Angeles, and there, it's like a war zone. I mean, you're literally cars driving around, setting up these huge fireworks that should be fired 100 feet up into the air.
Right.
Are on the ground.
Right.
These massive bangs, and it's just like, it's like a Fallujah war zone. It's ridiculous. And yet the city doesn't do anything. There's no celebration as such.
Yeah, no, it's
pretty sad.
It is sad.
So in going back to your planetarium idea, they should do something.
I think, but that's the thing. They had something at the planetarium, and then of course it went away and what have you. Now it's the 50th anniversary of that album,
right?
And it's like there's nothing about it. No. So I kind of, not they're going to listen to me, but are you guys doing anything?
Yeah,
because that would be fantastic to see.
Yeah, it would be.
And here.
Yeah, it would be a good idea.
So,
or even at the Hollywood Bowl, at least that that's kind of open.
Yeah.
If it's not too smoggy, you can see the stars.
Sure.
You've got that open atmosphere. It'd be very cool.
That would be cool.
Anyway,
would be cool.
I'd be interested to see if it happens.
I would see it. I would see it.
Yeah.
But anywho,
beginning of the year, so we've got a little bit of work on this horror film. Working for somebody who's a writer, very well-known writer in the horror field. He's written many of the Conjuring films and the Annabelle films about a doll. And even though these films are not on everybody's radar, these are movies that are made for about $15 million, and they make millions. I mean, I think Annabelle 2, Annabelle Creation, was made for 15 to 20 million.
Yeah.
And when you put advertising in, you're looking at about 30 million. And this film at the box office, like 60, 70 million dollars. I mean, horror just works. If you do it correctly. Now, I mean, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of those movies myself. I like a different kind of horror. Yeah. But those movies make money. Anyway, this writer has written those.
Did you see Megan?
I haven't. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it. Oh. And it's.
Did you see the Facebook thing, Harry and Meghan?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, with him holding that.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
No, it was really cool because I thought the trailers looked interesting. Silly, but interesting. Yeah. And my immediate thought was, it's another Annabelle remake. And there was a lot of hate for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I've got a friend of mine who directs a lot of horror movies himself, and he posted...
A friend you've never mentioned to me.
Yeah, well...
Dark Secrets of James.
More of an acquaintance.
Oh, I see.
A friend! Anyway, he went to see it and raved about it, said it was really good. He said really silly...
Yeah.
But just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, unless the movie's absolutely freaking dreadful...
Yeah. You can have fun horror.
Yeah.
You can have silly horror, totally.
But you see, Violent Night.
I
wanted to see it. Well, it's on Peacock. Lonnie she was like, I don't know if I want to see it. And I kind of want to see it at Christmas in the movie theatre.
Right, yeah.
And we never got around to it. And it came out on Peacock. And I was
Which I don't have.
Brilliant. Well, I can show it to you. It's Santa Claus meets Die Hard.
Right.
And that's an analogy that's been said before.
That's what's been right. That's the what they call it, not the tagline.
No,
is it?
but it's what people are calling it, and it's a lot of fun. It's like it's very violent.
Oh,
Hence the title.
right.
So I wouldn't let Lucas see it for another few years.
No.
But it's fun, and Dave Harbour's brilliant. He's really, really good.
No, he's great. And I think when I first watched Stranger Things 1, you're immediately drawn to him.
Yeah.
His character is so... It could have been such a pastiche, such a written off and a failure. But his face and his ability to bring that character, and I say that character because, of course, I've forgotten the bloody name of it. But
Stranger Things, and it was Hopper.
Hopper.
Is it?
Hopper.
We'll edit this.
Anyway, Anyway, him. What is in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And he brings such a clear reality to it. And you just straight away, you're with him.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that he was in this Violent Night, I was like, oh, I've got to see it. And that star power, you see, and he's not a big star.
No.
But that's the power of a good actor.
Yeah.
And horror needs that.
Plus
You need
he was
that.
in the Marvel movie...
oh, God.
what-
It's so tragic, isn't it? A fucking Alzheimer's situation.
Oh, my God. Black Widow.
Black Widow, okay, I've not seen that.
He played the father, and he was brilliant and very funny.
Yeah, so and it's like what's her name as well?
Yeah,
the lady who actually she was in a film which I'm very happy to have worked on called Electric State, which is for Netflix, coming soon.
When did you always bring out these titles of things that you worked on, but. We only live like 20 feet away from each other.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Here I am in the wrong side of Hollywood, and yet in my little tiny office, which is like no bigger than a toilet, basically, I've been lucky enough to work boarding this huge fucking project that's going to be seen someday, and it's so weird to me, and in a way that is a kind of a magic of Hollywood, that all these little places of industry happening that does bring me joy, that little kind of magic happening in places you wouldn't expect it to be. But I worked on Electric State, and her name's Millie Bobby Brown, and Millie Bobby Brown,
she's brilliant.
She's fucking awesome. And again, when you saw Stranger Things, when I started watching that, and you see this kid, and she's straight with the shaved hair. And first of all, she's very young. I think she was.
And she's British too.
And she is, I can correct you there, because her parents are British. She was born in Portugal, I believe.
Ah, yes, that's true.
Yeah, but so she is British. I mean, it's like Lucas.
But you hear her talking, and she's got a British accent.
Oh. You've heard her in real life?
Yeah, because on all the interviews for Stranger Things.
Interesting. Well, mate, that's fascinating, because Lucas, my son, was born here in America, but he did have a British accent, and then, of course, he started going to school, mixing with a hoi polloi.
It was the same with Carl.
And would you bloody,
Carl was born here, and he in the same hospital as Lucas.
Yeah.
And for the first 4 years of his life, he had this wonderful Californian little boy accent. Hello, police have arrived.
Oh, here we go. There's one of the soundtracks of Los Angeles is the ever-present helicopters. And have you ever seen a film called Grand Canyon?
Yes, I have.
Which makes a big point of that. And actually, a lot of people forget that movie. But it's very LA.
Oh, yeah.
It shows all the problems, which quite frankly have never been resolved to this day. And that was back in early 90s.
Yeah.
I can remember seeing that in the UK. With our respective girlfriends back then.
Oh, that's true.
And I remember that they make a point of the fucking ghetto birds, as they're called.
Yeah.
And it's like... And the last time I heard the sound, I remember when you introduced me to Pink Floyd, playing it on your record.
Oh, yeah, with the wall.
And again, it was like, you laddie, yes, you laddie, and that just stuck with me. And then you're in this environment, that's all you fucking hear, especially when you're in an urban area like this. Actually, my first experience was me and the lads from Image Animation, was a makeup effects company in Britain. We were here shooting a classic movie called Waxworks 2 Lost in Time. Now, I said because for a fucking millisecond I forgot the name of the bloody film. And it was Waxworks 2 Lost in Time. We were shooting on Universal backlot, the old backlot that have actually, I think it's still there. I know they got rid of a lot of it, but it was
a lot of it burned down.
Yes, I'm not sure when that was, but we were there in 92.
Yeah.
On the Universal back, we were shooting where they shot all the original Universal horror movies.
Yeah.
And we were doing a sequence, can't remember what it was, but anyway, when we had arrived at the airport and we were driving, and I remember looking out the window and we were driving from LAX all the way to our apartments near Universal. And it was a low-budget film, so there was like 6 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. It was hilarious. But on the way, I can remember looking out, seeing this searchlight, and I saw police with shotguns crouching by this building, and I just glimpsed it like a passenger, was in the van, just whooshing, and I was like, fucking hell. And this was Los Angeles, 92.
Well, a lot of shit went down in 92 in Los Angeles.
I know, with the riots and everything, but this was after the riots, after you see those titles, LA Burns and the Daily Mail. And I remember just glimpsing that image, and in a way, tremendously fearful, but in another way, a sense of excitement.
Right, because we don't have that in England.
Well, you don't.
Well, we didn't.
Well, no, we didn't. There's a bit more now, I'm afraid. But yeah, anyway, so just to go with the helicopter sound. But anyway, Grand Canyon, and why the fuck did it get onto that? You heard the helicopter. Reel me back in.
To where we were talking about with Carl and Lucas was...
the American accent.
That's American accent.
Yes,
then when his mother and I got divorced back
hello.
He lived in England for 2 or 3 years, and his California accent went away.
Yes.
And he sounded like Harry Potter.
Yes.
It's crazy. And then he goes and lives in Spain. And then he has a Spanish accent.
Right.
So it's amazing how they adapt. But yeah, going back to Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Have you seen Enola Holmes?
Well, no, I haven't.
Because she's in that.
Oh, very quickly, as you're talking about her, what's of interest to me especially is that apparently she is deaf in one ear.
Hey?
Now, being... Now that's interesting because I worked on a film and a friend of mine, and it was Suicide Squad, and a friend of mine who was the lead storyboard artist and introduced me to the director David Ayer, I think an amazing director, and once he'd done his service in the military he started writing scripts and he did The Two Cops in Los Angeles.
Training Day?
Training Day. He wrote Training Day.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't direct it. Anton Fuqua, I believe, directed it. And that's an awesome film. It's actually shot not far from where my...
Still haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
You see, you're wasting your time with all this fluff, this Marvel fluff.
I like Marvel
You've got to go
fluff.
and see Training Day, mate.
I will see
and it's
Training
actually
Day.
shot not far from where me and Sal used to live, actually, in East LA. But anyway, so he was a tough guy, but he's a good guy. But my first meeting with him, my friend Andy Garcia Price, who was the head storyboard artist, said, this is Marty, he's hard of hearing, which I am. I wear hearing aids, I've got a hearing problem, and ringing ears. And the first thing he turned and he goes, huh? Like that. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. Anyway, so Millie Bobby Brown, she has no hearing in one ear.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just thinking, first of all, now I'm not having a go at you here. You did the and I do the as well. It's a common thing to do. But hearing, because it's invisible, and I'm thinking, here's this actress, she's fucking successful, she's bloody great.
And she's very young too.
And she's really young. And the woman, she can only hear in one ear. She does her lines. I think that's amazing. Now, unfortunately, on Electric State, I never got to meet her because I was in the bunker working away. But I would have loved to have just shown admiration and just say, you've done this and you can only hear in one ear. And it's just, anyway, I just think that's fantastic. But yeah, she's another person who you watch something, you go, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Whatever the subject, it's going to be good.
Yeah, no, I agree. So the other thing I wanted to touch on was The Last of Us.
Oh, yes.
What do you think?
Well, go on, what do you think first? So I can just machine gun your opinion.
I actually really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I haven't played the game.
No, nor have I.
So,
No.
when people read a book and then they make a movie of the book and people are, it's terrible, it's nothing like the book. Well, I've not played the game, so I'm coming in fresh. And it's another dystopian future with Walking Dead finishing. Mm-hmm.
Which I never saw. I mean, you saw all of that, right?
I have, and I'm still watching the final season at the moment. I mean, I like that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, me too. I love it.
I enjoyed it. It's nice to see the Mandalorian in a different role.
What's his name?
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but he's not what you would call an American kind of movie star. But you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Charles Bronson.
He does a little
in
bit.
In that kind of energy.
Where's the moustache and the hair?
Well, yes.
Are you talking about in this movie?
No,
I mean, this show.
I'm talking more about how he comes across as an actor, not as a person. I don't know him as a person.
Yeah.
We don't know him as a person, but as an actor, his presence is very Charles Bronson-y.
Interesting.
That's how I see it.
So what did you think of?
I really thought the opening sequence was excellent
Yeah.
because we've seen all this stuff so much now, the apocalypse, and I love all the apocalypse, and we're living in the apocalypse and the shit that's going on at the moment. It's hard not to really feel akin to that and also get tired of it.
Yeah.
But the way they did it, now I've
It was very World War Z in that.
Yes, it was.
In how it just rapidly goes pear-shaped.
Yeah, I think we should drill down into that. One of those horrible sayings like, kind of reach out. Every time somebody says reach out, I think, reach out and touch me. Personal G. Is it personal G's? Anyway.
Reach out and touch faith, yeah. Personal G's.
There we go. I'm just tragic,
You're
aren't I?
diverted.
No.
Reel you back in, mate.
Because it's connected. Because the thing is that with that apocalypse event, they did it very well. There's that fantastic stuff in the truck.
Yeah.
Now, apparently that's very much like the game.
Okay.
The game, which was designed by very talented guys at Naughty Dog, and they created The Last of Us, and I think it was with Sony PlayStation as well. And I worked for Sony many years ago on a game, but what they did was fantastic. But I've not played it like you, so I think all that was beautiful. And then, boom. They do this cut
20 years later.
and it's 20 years later, and it never lives up to the beginning.
No. Well, it's to be fair, I think a lot of it's set up for what's to come.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to watch it all.
Yeah,
I'm
me
there.
too. Yeah,
I'm
no,
there.
yeah, I'm invested.
Was it me, or did you find that?
No, it was fast, and then it just went.
Yeah.
And there was some
Sag.
stuff. Yeah. And
I'm not talking about the union.
But
Screen Actors Guild.
I enjoyed it. And I understand why they do it, because you can't have 90 minutes of full on action without some respite.
No,
but you've still got to set up all these other characters.
Yeah.
And
also I was confused because of the African American girl in the beginning who was superb.
Yeah.
Who she gets
the daughter that
spoilers, she
yes.
gets killed, but if you play the game that happens in the game apparently.
Yeah.
And then there's an older African American girl.
Yeah, and you think it's her.
And we think, is she
she survived.
She survived.
Yeah.
And of course she didn't.
No.
And no, it wasn't that. It was just because she was of an age that she could have been the daughter.
Yeah.
I also found the settings afterwards, this post-apocalyptic setting. I was like, well, okay, this fungus, which is, what was it, coprophiliac or something?
So I don't know the name.
I think that's shagging the dead, actually, coprophiliac. I got that wrong. I think that's something else. Anyway, copro something.
Yeah.
But it's a horrible thing.
But you see, I love the setup of that when they start off in the 70s. And they say, it's not all this stuff that's going to kill you, it's the fungus. And all it takes is the world to warm up a few degrees, and then the thing adapts.
Right.
And can live in the human host. Anything. I think they explain it like anything over 95 degrees as funguses, they die. Or fungi, I should say, they die.
I love horror and everything, but that one fungus fucking scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And when I first saw...
No mushrooms for you then?
Well, I love mushrooms on toast. And ever since then, I look at a mushroom, I'm just thinking, is it going to be like The Thing? Right. I'm going to have this mushroom and say this fucking mushroom's going to explode and take me over and turn me into a coprophiliac zombie or whatever it is. Well, not copra. Anyway. But so I've always been shit scared of that, and seeing the ants where the fucking thing just makes the ant climb to the top of this fucking tree, and I'm going to thrust my fungus root through its skull, and I'm going to pop. It's just horrible. Yeah. You couldn't make it up.
That would have been a good visual for them to do. But
do they do it in? Because remember, they have all these different variants.
They had some really good reveals in the show where they're going through the underground tunnels to get there, and they've got that person up against the wall with all the fungus coming out.
Yeah, beautifully made.
Yeah, really nice.
I just thought the reveal of that could have been Anyway, I
Well, I
think
don't know. I mean, she goes into a darkened room, she turns around, and it's right there on the fucking wall. I mean, that's
okay,
a
maybe
pretty...
I'll have a relook at that.
I mean, yes, it's a jump scare, but it
You know,
it was
it might have been
effective.
because I'd seen the image before.
Right.
You've got to be so careful now. There's so many times you see this shit, and by the time you see the movie, you're spoiled. So that's probably what it was. But, you know, it's funny you mention that about the beginning, because in the game, it's all through spores.
Right.
Which would be in real life.
Sure.
That fungus, spores.
Yeah.
But they changed it for the thing because in the game, they're all wearing masks. So if you don't want to get infected, you just put a mask on,
Right.
you're sorted. So what they did, they changed it to they have to attack another body and they pass it on through tendrils.
Right, yes.
But when I saw that old woman open her mouth with the tendrils, I just thought of the last invasion of body snatchers.
Right. Yeah.
I just thought, no. And that I wasn't happy with that either. And now I love the thing they did, the soft focus background. You see the old granny sitting there and she's like this. She goes,
Yeah.
and you think,
And
hello.
she's just in the background.
Yeah, she's soft in the background.
Yeah, and that was just brilliant. 'cause
And
they
that's
didn't
just
play-
like-
and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's really fucking creepy.
But I would have loved to have seen suddenly this fucking fungus just coming through her head, even if it was soft in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
As opposed to suddenly the next thing you see, she's eating these. I was like, nah, it's too zombie.
Yeah, yes, you're right. I think it would have been great if you could see it infecting rather than eating.
Yeah.
Because then, as you said, it's just another zombie film.
Yeah. Look, they got the whole thing to go through. They were like, look, we do this prologue and then boom, we're into it.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been interesting to even to have had looking at the plate and it's infected the food
Right.
that she's been. Something to make you think, ugh, that you didn't want to look at any.
Right.
Something to give you the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
And to show something in between that dreadfully awful 20-year gap.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the next one's on today, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Which I can't watch till tomorrow.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Money will not be interested in this show at all.
No.
I'm surprised you wanted to watch Violent Night last night.
No, I'm amazed. I've reeled Sal back into the horror realm. Her favourite horror is Asian horror. But looking forward to that. Continuing, seeing where they go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
should we call that a day for today?
Yeah, my lips kept flapping for about half an hour. I think that'll do.
All right, folks. Well, that's it for us today. So we'll catch up with you next time, I guess.
Cheers.
I've got to edit
Nice
this
chatting
now.
with you, mate.
Yeah, nice chatting with you too. Don't darken my doorway again. Until next week.
I will, with more fried ghosts.
All right. So long, mate.
Before we go, we bring you our
Fact check! Fact check! Fact check!
Fact check segment.
Here with the benefit of hindsight,
And editing.
we can own up to our mistakes.
Martin, just for clarification, when you said Monterey, you actually meant Monterey Park, East Los Angeles, not the seaside town in Northern California by Carmel.
Right.
Just for clarification. Wasn't really a mistake. It was just a bit short.
Try not to enjoy yourself too much.
Well, in your big correction of Louis, I need to correct you there.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown is an English actress, but she was born in Marbella, Malaga, Spain, before moving to Bournemouth, UK, then Florida, and then to Los Angeles.
Exactly what I was trying to say, but you just rushed through. What could I do?
Well, I stand corrected for you. And finally, I think you were referring to cordyceps
On The Last of Us.
on The Last of Us.
Yes.
Not coprophiliac, which is the enjoyment of sexual activity with feces.
No, indeed.
I just want to know where your mind was at.
Certainly not there.
Believe me, I wouldn't want that fungus at all.
The Last of Us human centipede. No.
Right. See you next week.
Bye.